Hello, and welcome to the Movie Test of Time, a podcast about revisiting our youth through the only medium that matters, the movies. Thanks for joining us. My name is Andy Young, and I'm one of your simple, plain hosts. Joining me, as always, is our other simple and plain host, Beth Martin. Beth, the pleasure as always. What's the crack?
I really like the words you chose. I'm so excited about this movie. Good word choice, space. I
Thanks.
can tell you actually watched it too.
I did actually. I did watch it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. There was like lots of different options for this, like in terms of the direction I could go in, and like I did a search for like Amish descriptive words, and some of them were not complimentary at all. And I was like, let's not go too hard in Amish. I was like watching them live their simple life, and I was like, you know what,
Yeah,
this seems all right.
yeah, you did good. You did good.
They're
I'm so
they're
okay.
ahead of the curve.
Yeah, exactly. So I just got back into the States on just like, well, no, that's been like 5 days ago from the land of the South Pacific. It
Uh-huh.
was the best. So normally we go and someone gets sick,
Hmm.
and it's
Oh
usually
yeah.
like someone's always barfing, or someone has, or barfing, and then last year it was like barfing and strep throat, and then
Yep.
like one of the notes that we make, because it's like hard to remember what to take to like, kind of camp, but not really, in Maria. And one of the notes was Pepto, more than you think, in the like ring. So, but this year, like I didn't use any Pepto-Bismol, so I
Nice.
didn't have the shits at all.
Okay.
Uh, Harper learned to
Brag.
scuba dive, which was, I don't
Yeah,
know
I
who
saw
saw,
the I
posted
saw
some
the
pictures.
I just saw the pictures. Yeah, that was lovely.
And then like went down and did a dive after she did her final. Like she did like three. So she's a junior scuba diver, meaning she's allowed to go down to 40 feet, but she's done all the skills and like knows how to like tow her dad in
Hmm.
if he's like having problems and all that. Like she's done basically, like, if you're doing the uh there's a certain system at which you can kind of figure out at what depth you can stay for how long. And it's kind of calculus. So Mike's like, our 11-year-old is like smarter than most people. So she passed her written exam
Good for her.
barely, but she passed it.
Hey, a pass is a
Yeah,
pass.
a pass is a pass. And she's fucking 11. Like,
Yeah,
I think I had trouble with it when I took it when I was,
I remember how tough I found it as well. Yeah.
yeah, it was difficult. So, and then you have to do four dives, usually like shore dives. And so there's a place where it doesn't matter. She did that. It was cool. She went down to like, 30 feet, and they were doing skills and working on buoyancy. And Charles and I were like swimming above them on snorkel, just like watching. And it was really sweet. So she passed, and we gave her it's called your C card or your certification card, because Mike pre-ordered it, because he knows she's not gonna not leave here and not be certified.
Amazing.
So that was really cool. Charles lost a tooth in the ocean,
Okay.
and like
Uh,
it's like white sand. So when your tooth falls in the ocean, like there's no, like, it's a
no.
baby tooth, right? And like Harper had pulled his snorkel out of his mouth, and I already knew he had a loose tooth. And he just like came up and he was sobbing, and he's
Oh
like, "My
no.
tooth fell out. I'm never gonna find it." And I was like, "Put your mask." Like I went full insane mom, and I was like, "Put your own mask back on your own face and get down there and find your own tooth."
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
Harper's like, "Give me the mask," and I was like, "Good call." So I handed it over to her. She put the mask on, went down, came up with the
With
tooth
a
in her
tooth?
fucking hand. Yeah.
Wow.
She's like, "I just followed the blood," and I was like, "God, you're smart."
That's I like it. Good for her.
I
Wow,
know.
wow, wow,
So
wow.
yeah, so lots of pirate. Uh, so yeah, Mike is still missing his tooth. He just didn't wear it at all.
Yeah.
He finds
Screw
that
that.
people treat him much nicer,
With the
or
missing
like they're
tooth.
like, "Oh yeah, yeah, let him do. Oh, this guy probably isn't very smart, and
That's
let him go to the front
interesting.
of the line," right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Wonder does that happen to me as well? It's quite possible.
well, no one can tell. You can't tell.
Yeah, it's
Like
only at
his
the
is like
start.
right
Oh,
here,
right, of course. Okay,
like
that's
next
true.
to his front tooth.
Yeah,
So
it's mine's hard to see.
he's been calling it his honey hole, and I'm like, that's not what that is.
Amazing.
And then he's been sticking, there's like all these pictures from vacation where he like puts a carrot in there and we're all like having a family photo smile. So it's like I think I could have a coffee table book of
I
like things that subbed in as Mike's other front tooth.
I'd
Carrot,
like to
corn.
officially go on record as
Mm.
co-signing Honey Hole as the name for
Okay.
it. Just I'd like to make my position clear on that.
Okay, okay. So, and let's
Uh-huh.
see. I just think we it was like the best trip ever.
Amazing.
Yeah, which, is saying something. So
No, I'm very
I think
happy
you
to
should
hear it.
come. I think you should come next
Yeah,
year,
no, it's
this
something like
year.
I'll talk to you about it after because I have been thinking about
Yeah,
it a lot and I've been chatting to people about it a lot, but we'll talk about it off pod.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
And now I think I know the diet that we need to eat to not get the shits, but
okay.
like, you know what? It's fine.
Yeah, exactly.
It
Roll the
involves
dice.
a
You could,
lot of grilled cheese and Doritos.
okay, okay. Well, I mean, like, I could be aboard with that.
I know, right?
Um,
Yeah. So, what's the crack with you?
so I had a fairly quiet Christmas. It was nice though. On our last episode, I was riddled with the flu, and it kind of like ruled over a good chunk of my Christmas season. Um, but I'm out the other end of it now, thankfully. So it was a fairly quiet Christmas, but it was nice. There was lots of like so many board games played, and I was chatting to Beth about this earlier, which was just lovely. It was just kind of what I needed. It was just the perfect kind of distraction from, I don't know, the kind of more intense parts of the holiday. But it also just kept me busy and kept me kind of engaged, and that's what I was looking for. Of course,
It's
lots
such
of
a gift.
it
It's
really
such a
is.
like get board games for your friends
It's just
as
like
like yeah.
especially for me, like I'm like I like how much I love an activity. Like it's truly is so like I find anxiety and stress just kind of melt away. I should say as well. My friend, what's the name of the website? Sent me through one of my American friends sent me through an American mental health
Oh,
website
good.
with
Uh-huh.
tests for
Yes.
different conditions and stuff like that.
Yes.
And
What
what
did
did
you
I
diagnose
get?
with?
So I severe depression, severe anxiety.
Ooh. Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
And I sent him a we're number one.
Yeah.
Um we're number one message and I'm like, but I did the bipolar test and it was like, no, you really don't seem like that. You have bipolar and that ADHD doesn't seem to be in the mix either. And I'm like, okay, so like I'm
Hmm.
not high scores across the board, but I'll take high scores in two different things. And
Yeah.
it's a fairly light quiz, like it's like 20 questions, so but it's
Yeah.
still, indicative, I think. So I thought that was interesting. I digress. Um, I went to see a lot of movies, most notably Avatar, what the hell?
Ooh.
Fire and Ash, yeah, it's called.
Furnish. Fern.
Definitely the horniest Avatar
Oh, okay.
movie.
Good to know. Okay,
Um,
good to know.
I think, still like family friendly for
Like,
the most part, but there
okay.
is the leader of the Ash Clan or whatever they're called is like very kind of like everybody's horny for her specifically. Like yeah, it's the whole thing. But you know what it was? It felt very similar to the second one, and I felt like I really wish it had done more differentiate itself from that, but I still really enjoyed it. Like James Cameron can do very little wrong. He will like give you a fun time at the movies. I don't think there's any way to avoid that.
Yeah.
Um,
I l- I l- I like these movies.
mhm.
I just want more Terminator 2 kind of stuff.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Um, does this have some of that? I think you will like whatever I can't remember if they're called the Fire Clan, the Ash Clan. I think you will like them a lot. They're kind of
Okay.
like they're good sort of villain characters and they're an interesting twist on the Navi. I think it's a cool sort of angle on them. I also saw Marty Supreme,
Okay,
which
so much hype.
yeah, so interesting because I went to see it. I don't know what the hell happened with the release of that movie over here because it got released in like our art house cinemas at Christmas and then like ran for a couple of weeks and that's where I saw it. And like in my art house cinema, as you would expect, it is middle-aged people, old-aged people almost exclusively across the board. But it
What
was
is the
like
art house cinema?
an art house cinema is somewhere that will play like, maybe foreign language films or films with like
Okay.
smaller distribution. Like we only have one in Belfast, but like there's quite a few across like in England and Scotland and Wales and stuff as
See,
well.
over here, like there was a, I think it still exists. Like the college town I went to, there was like an art house cinema,
Yeah.
and they would do like reruns of like Casablanca, or like
Yes.
you just do, but it was like all like young people that were like getting high and
Oh,
watching,
interesting.
yeah. So it was
I
a very different vibe.
I
Like
think
old
it's
couches and like things like very arty,
no, this
even
isn't
with
what
like the seats.
I feel like this is. I mean, like, you do see young people in it, but I would say like even the young people you see in it are like late 20s, early 30s. Like I mean, but like in this there was like it's possible they're teenagers sort of thing, which is just
Oh yeah.
not something you see in there at all.
Yeah, I was like in like like 19.
Huh? Yeah, like I would say so. A few of them, and I think
Yeah.
it was just because
Yeah.
like it's Timothy Chalamet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
just
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
these guy get that guy gets bums and seats.
Oh,
Uh-huh.
we're giving me, sorry, all these things I'm like remembering we need to talk about. Keep going.
Oh, sorry. Okay, I thought
Uh,
that was okay. So
uh,
I enjoyed a Marty Supreme. I wasn't crazy about the ending of it, but I think that
I've
overall it
heard
was a good
that.
movie, and it was like he does a really good job of playing a real kind of despicable sort of character. Like I kind of wish like he does kind of get a comeuppance, but he also has I think, fairly positive. That my interpretation of the ending is a fairly positive ending, and I don't know that he deserves that really
Hmm.
necessarily, but it's
Hmm.
probably the most unlikable I've seen him in a role, and I really kind of
Hmm.
admire any actor doing that. So like,
Hmm.
yeah, really, really interesting. I
I
also
I knew nothing and I thought it was like he was like a pinball wizard, but like a table tennis
have you seen
player.
it?
No,
Okay,
I was just
of
I
course
was
you were away.
well, we were debating the difference between inference and
Uh-huh.
uh it doesn't matter.
Okay.
But I inferred, I
Uh-huh.
guess, based on the press tour that he was like playing someone who was like very much a hero and like liked wearing orange clothes.
Oh
So
yeah, of course. The The Home Depot, what is it? Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
the Home Depot bucket.
The Home Depot collection. Um, I also saw, and I don't know if you've seen that. I think we might have talked about this before, but like, my friend came over to visit me. Like, fortunately, just after my flu had dissipated, but like, and I took him to see the Holdovers in our outhouse cinema there as well, and
Mm,
like, just such an incredible Christmas movie, and just
it
such a
is.
like
It
beautiful
is.
sort of depiction of like depression and those sorts of things. It's really, really, really good. Um, but yeah, I also got myself a new yoga mat that I'm gonna break in after this very podcast.
I bought
That's
myself, okay.
the end of
So
that
I
thought.
have something I have to
Okay.
admit. I'm like, I don't have money to burn, but like for some
Uh-huh.
reason. So we're at LAX. I have to find
Oh
what
yeah,
is
okay. I know what
okay,
this
so I
is.
got a Lego.
Hmm.
Okay, what's the one that you have that's like Jabba's
I have Jabba's palace. I also have Jabba's like barge,
like
pleasure barge.
barge?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I have the pleasure barge, but like the one that's like 2.5 feet long.
Oh my God.
It's nuts.
Is it a
Okay.
new one then or something maybe?
I
Oh
think
wow.
so. Yeah. Like R2D2 is a cocktail waitress.
Oh yeah, that looks way bigger than mine.
It's I thought I got yours and I was like super excited and then
Oh,
I was
so
like
it's like
putting
the Ultimate Collection one in the black
it
box.
is.
Yeah,
It
yeah, yeah.
is. Like the one like someday I'm going to get the Millennium Falcon.
Sure,
Like,
sure, sure.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna
it's a nice
drop
one.
almost $1,000 on a fucking Lego. It's someday. Someday. Save
Oh
my
yeah,
money.
it's way bigger than mine. Yeah, yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
but okay, this is like I went scuba diving,
Uh-huh.
um, two successful dives, one unsuccessful, and like I'm realizing like I have no strength in my body. Like my
Hmm.
body's just not strong right now. Like I couldn't get, granted, it was like ladder that was not very suitable for, they call it a Christmas tree ladder. It's really hard to get in and out of, especially when
Okay.
you're wearing fins. Like it should just be a ladder where there's like a post and then like a rod and a rod and a rod, and you can just kind of like, but they don't. They make it like a rod here and a rod here, and so you have to like
Oh, I see.
get
Okay.
your footing just right. And it's like when you're in the swells, it's really hard. And anyways, I have this huge fucking bruise on my, I like don't, I was like, what, where did that come from? Mike's like, that's a
Mm.
dive bruise. But it's like, it's the shape of Maria. Anyways, that has nothing to do with what I'm talking about. So I dropped hella money on this Lego, built almost the whole thing.
Well,
It's too big to get
I
home,
was just gonna
right?
say, yeah.
So I had to break the whole thing apart. So now I'm taking it, it's broken. I'm taking everything. I'm like, I think I'm like, there's like 37 bags, 39
Oh my
bags.
God.
I know. I got to like 30 bags, I think, and then it was time to go home. So I
Okay.
broke it all apart and now I'm like literally rebuilding it, but without bags. So
Uh-huh.
it's like an extra test for my little pea brain to like find these two pieces within. So I'm like dividing. It's like you should see my living room right now. It's divided up by Legos and color and size.
Amazing.
Like so I can try and rebuild this thing.
Why not? Treat yourself.
Uh-huh.
It's
I
Christmas.
know.
After all, get
Yeah.
yourself a Java sailboards is what I say.
Okay, also have you heard of so you were talking about Timothy Chalamet.
Uh-huh.
I think maybe he was like the beginning of this fad, but have you heard of the broccoli haircut?
Yes.
Okay. So I think he shaved his off, but I'm looking around and I'm seeing everyone is like getting fake perms and like it's like a bowl cut, but with a
Yeah.
perm. And like
That's
even the kid from they just had the Critics' Choice Awards the other night, and the kid from Adolescence, I'm like, oh my God, he's got the broccoli cut. Not flattering.
I because I've been thinking about a hair change myself, and it's interesting because before I do this, like as a midpoint between this my current haircut and what I was going to go for, I was going to get a mullet, and now
Yeah.
and then I was like, I don't know if I can be bothered, and they were very fashionable last year, but
Yeah.
now that they're not fashionable again. The
Now it's
temptation,
time.
that temptation
Yeah.
is there.
Yeah.
We'll see what
Yeah.
happens.
Okay. One more
Hmm.
thing.
Yes.
I need to know if I should watch the Chevy Chase
Oh
documentary.
God, I don't know. Like that guy sucks.
It's just, I feel like we could do like an episode. I don't know if I want to wade into this
Yeah.
dark shit river, but
What's it on?
it's about him and
I know,
like,
sorry, what platform is it on?
sorry, like it's about him.
It's about Chevy
Um,
Chase, yeah.
yeah, I know. Of course you knew that. It's on here. It's on CNN, so I don't know. It's like they
Okay.
have their own. I don't know if you can see it or not, but basically, like they did a roast for him 30 years ago. They did another roast for him like 20 years ago. He was upset about SNL 50 that
Hmm.
he wasn't given a
Yes, I
skit
heard this.
and all the other and I guess he like texted Lord Michaels and was like, you hurt my feelings. And now people are upset because he has uh it's a woman documentary director, and she was like, trying to just get like try and figure out who you are. And he was like, well, you're not like you're not smart
I
enough.
saw that clip.
Yeah. So everyone's like, he's like misogynist. Like, it's the same. It's like everyone wants to love him because of these characters that he's created, but like he manages to be so unlikable, yet he is such a family man. And like, how can all those things coexist? And I think it frustrates people.
And like so many blood kind of movies under his belt as well. But like you mean like
Yeah.
it's just a litany of both actors, directors, all sorts who's like work with him once or twice, and they're like, I never want to work with this guy ever
Yeah.
again.
Yeah. And
There's
I
so
love me some Dan Herman,
yeah,
and like no one from Community, everyone said no about appearing in the documentary.
and I think that like Dan Harmon even like speaks about him in some of the more sympathetic ways. I've heard anybody talk about him because he's like
Yeah.
he will sometimes surprise you with unbelievable pieces of generosity, like whereas like, but other times he will just be like incredibly inappropriate, incredibly thoughtless. Like he used to like in between takes with like Donald Glover would like try and make him laugh by telling him racist jokes and things like that, and I'm like,
Yeah. Yeah.
what? You know,
Yeah.
it's just
Yeah.
but like I think it would be I think it would be fascinating. I don't. So maybe is my answer. I don't know. I
Yeah.
am curious about it, but I feel like it is kind of masochistic in a
I
way
feel
to
that
want to watch
too.
it.
He's at this point he's so old that like it
Yeah.
sounds like he might not be completely cognizant,
Yeah.
and I don't want that. I mean, you know, I get wanting to, know more about the people that whose movies you like, but at a certain point, is it serving? Who is it serving?
Well, this is true.
Mm.
This is true.
Yeah,
And like,
yeah.
yeah. It's one of the like I mean, those things have become so popular, like with Charlie Change documentary and everything. There's been
Hmm.
so much of that recently. Like it just seems to
Hmm.
be like I worry that like there's a certain amount of like bandwagon jumping with a lot of this sort of stuff as well, where they're like, there's money to be made from this stuff right now. I don't really think that Chevy Chase is on like high demand to be in a lot of projects these days either. So like, but like it also like is baffling to me how if he is in that position, which I suspect that he is, and then he is like actively insulting the filmmaker who wants to make a documentary about him. I a bizarre guy. A bizarre
Yeah,
guy.
yeah, yeah. Okay,
So,
just curious. Wanted your take.
okay, love it.
Yep. Okay, I've got some occurring.
Okay.
I got so my best friend is like the busiest person ever,
Uh-huh.
and so she just started listening, and I sent this to you over break because I was just like, oh, maybe it feels so
Mm-hmm.
good. But she said, I love your podcast. It's a perfect thing for when I miss you big time. I love you. You're hilarious. You and Andy are so great. I love your chemistry. Y'all are fun. I hope to meet him someday.
Yeah. And I responded, but you sent that to me. It's lovely.
Yeah,
What a lovely
yeah.
thought. And I said, I hope so
I
too.
know.
I hope we
Yes,
get to
yes,
meet
yes.
someday
It'll,
soon.
yeah. I hope so. I'm sure it will happen. And then so some feedback on the Strange Days episode
Uh-huh.
number whatever.
Okay.
I'll be better about knowing my shit, you
It's
guys, I
fine.
promise. This is the year of us like really using our mind palace
I think we
and
just, you know,
structuring things.
I mean, like, I think maybe just strip away episode numbers altogether might be a good idea.
I think yeah, yeah, yeah. If you want it, you can just like search by, there's a search function. Strange
Exactly.
Days. Anyways, okay. It's a known issue that's strange because I was like, I don't know if like we debated, is this a quality movie? Like, is this gonna why is this so hard to find? Like,
Yeah.
it just disappeared. It's such a it's an odd movie to watch. Uh, and if you want to listen to more about it, you can listen to that episode.
Yeah.
But this person says, our top fan, let's name him,
Hmm.
said it's a known issue that Strange Days is hard to come by. Apparently, there's no Blu-ray for it, and the only platform that's used to stream it apparently had a bad, I don't know, transfer. Is that the word?
Yeah.
It was a shit quality stream anyway. I think that's the one I saw. I was a little upset. The fact that it is now being removed has excited fans that are hopeful that this means the film is possibly getting a restoration and a relaunch.
Mm.
Maybe it's from Criterion. In light of the online buzz that is generated over it, they simply don't make films like this anymore. A big budget sci-fi with dark themes for adults only.
Yeah.
Strange Days is a unique achievement in cyberpunk cinema. It is a more successful literary depiction of cyberpunk, i.e., blending pulp noir with dystopian future tech, than say the more lauded cyberpunk of The Matrix. That's what I meant too when I
Yeah, yeah,
talked
yeah,
for an
yeah.
hour about it.
Yeah. You took the words
I
out of
said it
Beth's
just as
mouth.
succinct, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Just
yeah.
as succinctly.
Uh,
So, yes. So thank you to our friend for
Absolutely.
this
I'm kind
good
of like
take.
I'm cautious. Well, I don't even know if I'm optimistic, but I'm really curious to see. There is a Neuromancer series coming to Apple TV, which is the famous sort of
Ooh.
William Gibson novel with it kind of like it didn't launch cyberpunk. I think. Well, I think it actually maybe it did, but like it certainly was a preeminent sort of piece in that sort of like genre.
Hmm.
So, you know, I would love to see a really cool, like cyberpunk kind of show or, movie. Yeah, I really would. There's not that many of them, unfortunately.
Well, I think yeah, it's like once the school shooters happened,
Yeah.
yeah, and then they're like Marilyn Manson and Cyberpunk, and you're like, ugh. So,
Um,
anyways,
yeah.
let's not go there.
Shall we? Do you have more what's current, or shall we move into our topic?
No, and no one, no, we don't need to clarify anything because we were right about everything, apparently.
That's it.
Aha!
Yeah, that's good. That's good news for us. I mean, like it's unsurprising, but good
I know,
news
right?
nonetheless. Um, so we're looking at Witness this week. The 1985 Harrison Ford classic. I think it is a classic. It won tons of awards and stuff like that. I
It
have
did.
never seen it before.
It was okay, good. It
Mhm.
was a sleeper. Like no
Yeah.
one really knew it was coming, and then it came out, and they were all like, "Whoa, this is really good."
Hmm.
And so yeah, it did win a bunch of awards. So basically, um, the synopsis is while protecting an Amish boy, the sole witness of a brutal murder, and his mother, a Philadelphia police detective is forced to seek refuge within their rural community when his own life is threatened.
Yeah. I So the first thing I'll say is that like I thought it was Harrison Ford was the witness and like he was going undercover in the Amish community. That's what I thought the film I always thought that's what the film was, but it's not at all.
Yeah.
He's actually a detective. And I'm like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
that's wow, that's quite surprising to me.
Yes. No, the
Um
sweet little boy with the big eyes, Lucas Haas.
Lucas Haas, yeah, yeah, yeah. And yeah, I did recognize him. Like I remember him from he had like an adult film career. I remember him in Mars Attacks.
Yeah. He's there. He's around.
He's around. He's
He's
around.
around. He's always around. No, I just saw him in something else. Like, and
I,
he played like what, like the grungy, like, street thug.
oh,
And I was
okay.
like, there you are, Lucas. I see you. So he's,
That's
yeah, he's definitely around.
I,
So
mhm.
this was also like the first movie that Harrison Ford was in where it took him out of like the fantasy world.
Okay.
So he'd done so many movies where it was like, supernatural science fiction,
It's
and
a good
this was
point.
really like, yeah, he was playing a straight old detective named John Book.
Grounded. Yeah, John Book. Hottest detective alive. I mean, like,
Yeah, yeah,
hottest
yeah.
whatever role he's playing alive, I guess. Um, I thought, like, you know what really kind of like, I want like, we are going to be repeating ourselves slightly with this because there's a fair amount of crossover with this movie
There
and
is.
with Mosquito Coast. But the one thing that
I'm
really kind of blew,
accepting that.
yeah,
Yeah.
I do,
I was one that was like, I want to watch this. And you were
yeah.
like, okay. And I knew there would be crossover and I don't care.
It's fine. I do have some new-ish things to say them,
Okay.
so it's fine. So it's fine. But
Okay.
what
Okay.
I will say is what really kind of blew me away was right, film about the Amish community, you're into it, you're immediately into the Amish world, right? And there's freaking synth music, and I'm like, come on, guys, don't give me electronic music for a movie about Amish people, please. But like it
That was
really
Mike's note. He was like, great opening music. I was like, this is good music. And he was like, it's like as soon as Blade Runner came out, all the
like
movies of that era took on that.
the
And I was
proliferation
like, yeah,
that sort of music in the 80s was a problem for sure. And like, don't get me wrong, appropriate for some movies, but it was just like this is glaring, like so glaring. What an odd way to begin the movie.
agreed.
Um,
Agreed.
so yes, as I was saying, the director is Peter Weir, who also directed Mosquito Coast. We've talked about him before. Uh, an incredible, very career, truly a kind of like odd career. Like I think that like it was interesting because I was researching some stuff in terms of like the themes and stuff in his movies, and because I looked at like all the movies that he has done, and they all seem to be very disparate in terms of the subjects that he chooses. But like,
Hmm.
there's one of the things I saw a critic talking about. Basically, the themes in a lot of his movies are like cultures and ideas kind of clashing, and you see that in
Guys,
Mosquito Coast as well.
I totally wrote this down too. I said, what did I say? Because I was being smart at the time. What did I say? Andy, it's in my notes.
Um,
Intersection of contrasting cultures. I'm sure that
yes,
I totally came from my brain and only my brain
I think,
and not from the internet. But it's
yeah,
like, yeah. And it's
I
like, that is so interesting,
it
though,
is,
to
it
me,
is, it
anyways.
is. And I think that was like an early, in terms of the early part of his career, that was something he was really interested in in exploring. Um, but like I think
I I
when you look at his
enjoyed this.
films,
Sorry, I'm so excited.
it's
I'm
all
like,
right. No,
blah,
no,
blah, blah. No, you go.
he like zigged, he like zigged when you thought he should zag, and I think that's what always for me makes for a very interesting director.
Yes.
Sorry, go ahead.
I liked this. I was more interested in this intersection
Uh-huh.
because it made me feel less guilty as like, you know, a white colonist, I guess.
Yeah,
Showing like Mosquito Coast was like definitely like let's make your lives better because I
yeah.
know how because I know everything. I'm a white man. Anyways, this was definitely um interesting because I've grown up in states where we actually, so we have Amish people here, obviously.
Yeah.
Mike lived down the road from a group of Amish people. We had Amish communities in Oregon, also in Kentucky where I grew up. So like you'd see them in their horse buggies, riding around with their triangle of caution and their buggy lights and all that. And I just, it was just such a stark difference, and you see
Hmm.
that even as a kid. And I'm gonna just there was an Amish store that we used to go to on the way to Astoria where the Goonies was filmed, but like we would go and visit the beach town all the time. And we stopped. I think I was pregnant with Harper. We were talking about having kids. I can't remember, but I found uh like they had they're so creative with their woodworking.
Hmm.
So if anybody wants to Google this, you can totally see it. We bought a high chair, and when you turn it another way, it turns into a little desk. And when you turn it another way, it's a rocking horse.
That's
And I was
cool.
like, what the fuck? It was really cool. It was really cool. So it's like those are the things that like you do with your time when you don't have television.
I think absolutely, and I think and I think obviously based on my limited knowledge about youth Amish people, like this movie felt quite respectful and quite sort of like
Yes.
curious and kind of like fascinated with their culture in a really kind of nice way. I thought, um, it's something that I was kind of like, and I struggled to kind of get context on it because I wondered whenever this film was made how much knowledge there was about the Amish people. Like I feel like it's something. Maybe I'm speaking for myself here, but like I feel like it's something that seems like general knowledge these days. People have an understanding of how Amish culture is for a lot of ways and have a good understanding of what that is. So much so that it's like made fun of in certain movies and things like that, like in
Yeah.
old movies. Whereas
Yeah.
like a lot of this felt to me like it was like kind of like showing these ideas for the first time and maybe maybe this was the first kind of mainstream film that really kind of did like demystify what the Amish people were, but
Hmm.
I couldn't find any specific information on that.
Yeah. So from what I found just based on like where did the story come from? Um it was it was it sounds like it might have been kind of like between a book and a screenplay
Uh-huh.
um by this woman named no 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 Pamela Wallace.
Uh-huh.
So it became and she was a novelist and she wanted to write a novel about an Amish woman who had witnessed a murder in Los Angeles. Her husband Ed Wallace, or sorry, Earl Wallace, apologies, wrote for the television Western How the West Was Won. And like they had a similar plot, like not obviously Amish, but something similar. And so they were like, well, let's kind of like rework this and put something together. So it was Peter Weir was the one that asked William Kelly and Earl Wallace to work with his wife and to put the screenplay together. but it was based, so it was originally it was originally titled
Hmm.
Called Home, which is the Amish term for death. It ran for 182 pages, so you would have hated it. It would have been 3 hours
Yeah.
long.
Yeah.
Um, but it's hard to I can't find where that desire to bring these
Yeah.
two cultures, our culture and the Amish cultures together.
And I suppose, like, I'm sure Peter Weir kind of like, in terms of like his fascination with that subject, different sort of very different sort of cultures clashing, especially
Yes.
whenever they're like trying to coexist. I
Yes.
could see how this would be like a fruitful sort of like area to explore, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So the little things I know, little facts I know about the Amish community, and a lot of people get the Amish and the Mennonites
Yeah.
confused. They are different. So Amish people, like, I think that maybe I've mentioned this at some other point, but they don't like their photographs taken.
Uh-huh.
And so you will see, like, people will try and take their pictures when they're out in public, and please don't do that. But it's also the concept of, like, they have no childhood photos. They have no photos from when they were born. They have no photos from when they were married. They have no kind of like photographic
Interesting.
anthology of their lives at all. Um,
Like, I can kind of see the appeal of that in some ways. You know what I mean? Like,
you're
and
like
it's
Andy, you're like, I'm ready to become one.
yeah. I mean, like, I 100%. I was definitely
And
looking
they
at this
love
list
board
and I was like,
games.
yeah, like, sign me up. Um, I think that, like, I can see, where they're coming from with a lot of that stuff. Like, especially because I feel now, um, photographs have become so disposable and so like
Yeah, that's true.
commonplace. And I
That's
think
true.
that that's a shame. I feel like there's a halfway house to me met there, but like, yeah, I there is something nice, especially on specific days, to be able to look back and kind of go, oh, that's nice, or
Yeah.
that look at all these, look at all my loved ones together, sort of thing.
Yeah. Yeah. So of these three writers, it was the biggest film of their careers, but they all won an Oscar for the best original
Yeah,
screenplay.
I saw that. I
So
was like, wow.
props to them, because
Yeah.
and actually this screenplay itself that they wrote is kind of been taken apart and is kind of being used as the template for a lot of other
Oh, interesting.
movies. Yep, yep.
Fascinating.
Which ones
Uh,
I do not know. I did not get that far into my research because I was lazy. So
it
there you
did.
go.
No, who knows where influences come from and go to, and I like. I found I definitely did feel like seeing it for the first time. The template of it did feel quite. It did feel like it's something I've seen on a lot of movies. Like
Mhm,
that sort of template.
mhm.
The sort of like incident that starts off, that kicks things off. Then it's exploring this sort of like weird sort of land, and then action-packed finale, I guess. But yeah, definitely did see how it might influence other films. Because you like, I think we talked about this before. Certainly we have. Like, I read a book called Into the Woods a few years ago,
Yes,
and it was
yes,
about story structure and things like that. And it was,
yes.
yeah, very fascinating. Really kind of go into that. I think this does a really good job within that kind of framework. Um, so again, same as Mosquito Coast. The composer was Maurice Jarre, who I talked about last time. He is um, a storied composer and has done like a ton of different stuff. One of the things that I felt worth pointing out that I didn't point out last time is that he, heartbreakingly, is one letter away from the EGOT, which is obviously something we are very, very engaged with on this podcast. So he has the ego. He does not have the
He's
he does
the
not
ego, but not the ego.
he does not have the Tony. And he works in music. I'm like, bro, come on, get a Tony. Come on,
Yeah, yeah,
like just
yeah.
get a Tony. I think he's
Especially
alive.
the theater community, they'll be like, "Oh,
They'll
he's
give
so
you a
close.
Tony.
Give
Yeah,
it to
come on,
him."
give him a Tony. Is
Yeah.
he alive? He
Make him
is not.
inclusive.
Damn it. Okay,
Oh,
sorry,
damn it.
Maurice. You missed your chance.
Okay. Sometimes, you can do it
The
retroactively.
retroactive Tony. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I just want to talk about how this particular script works with no dialogue almost. Not that there's no
Uh-huh.
dialogue, but like the key moments of the movie have no talking. And
Yeah.
I'm here for it. I hate that term.
Yes, I hear you.
It's my era of that. No, I hate that term too. Wait.
No, 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 no.
I
Embrace
love
it.
it. So like when the little boy is like in the bathroom and he sees the murder happening and you see the murder, but you also see just his eye,
Yeah, that
you
scene was
know,
cool.
in the bathroom stall and then him trying to like not be seen by the bad, mean police officer who's the murderer. And then there's a scene where, Harrison Ford gets involved and he's like, well, I have to like this, there's a police officer that got murdered. And so this is a big deal that you can't, leave. I'm sorry you and your Amish mother, and this must be very terrifying. He never says that. He just sends them to his sister's house, who's played by Patti LuPone.
Yeah. I I saw her name in the credits and I was like, whoa, which one's Patty LuPone? Because like I don't think I've seen
Yeah.
Patty LuPone from that era, and I was like, holy
She
shit.
has the haircut you need right now in
Yeah,
this
that's you're
movie.
right. That's like a spiked top and a long back. Yeah, yeah,
Long
yeah.
back. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like the mullet, but it's like rocker
It
mullet, but
is.
not the lame, like non-rocker mullet of last year. Anyways.
I could be aboard for that.
And then the other scene is, yeah, he's in the little boy is in the police station with Harrison Ford. Harrison Ford is, of course, like being charming and like he's talking on the phone to somebody. And, he's like, don't wander off too far. And the little boy's walking over and he sees this big, like, you know, bookshelf full of awards and medals and all of the clippings of all of these police officers doing wonderful things. And they've had him doing all these lineups, and he's like, "No, I don't see the person that killed the police officer." And then he sees Danny Glover's face as one of
Hmm.
the hero police officers in a newspaper clipping, and he just turns and he looks at Harrison Ford, and Harrison Ford like kind of like puts the phone down because you can he can see in the child's eyes like something is happening here.
Hmm.
And he like walks over and the little boy just like points his finger, and then Harrison Ford takes his finger and puts it down.
Yeah.
Like, don't let anyone see you do
Yeah.
that. And I'm like trying to explain, I made the kids watch this, and I'm like, look at what they did, the power dynamic that you just see shifting, who is dangerous and who is not, with no words at all. It
Yeah.
was so well done. It fucking knocks my socks off every time. If anybody wants to just go see a really good movie with, scene with no dialogue, please go look. It's so
Yeah,
good.
that
It
was good.
kills me.
Yeah, that was really well done, I must say. Yeah, like I feel like kind of softer on this. I don't feel like this movie engaged me as much as would like have liked overall, and I feel like it was. I kind of, as I was watching it, I felt like I was sad I didn't maybe see it closer to the time. I think it probably would have worked for me better.
Mhm.
Um, but I think you're. I mean, like I think Peter Weir's an incredible filmmaker, and I think there is unquestionably going to be stuff that he's going to put into a film that will be arresting and really kind of visually engaging. And I think you're right. Like I think I, you know, the show don't tell is the kind of like old sort of adage for filmmaking, and I think he does some really kind of wonderful stuff, like you say in this.
Yeah. It's like for me, it's probably one of my top five favorite scenes ever.
Oh, interesting. Wow.
For me, ever seen in film. Yeah.
Cool.
Granted, I've probably seen it like 15 times, and I did see it as a child. And my dad was like, a cinephile, and would be like,
Sure.
look at this and this, and like explained all of these same things to me that I'm telling you. So
I love it. No, that's good.
yeah,
It's good.
yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah,
good. It's a
yeah,
good
yeah.
scene. One of the things that I really took from this, well, not took from this, but like I was like, I didn't recognize Kelly McGillis at first for a start,
I know,
and
right?
I was like, oh, well, that's Kelly McGillis. Wow, fantastic. And then I was like, why did she like? Because she was like so big in the 80s and appeared in a ton of stuff, and then
Mhm.
like just kind of faded away. And I was like, I wonder what happened. And then like I looked into it, and she was in a film in the late 80s or early 90s that was directed by Abel Ferrara and featured Peter Weller. And I was like, oh shit, that'll do it to anybody. Like two famously normal, chill guy. Apparently that experience and that movie just put her off basically being an actor and filmmaking. It's like,
Just also at the time it was probably difficult for her because I don't know if she was out or not, but she's a lesbian
I didn't
and
know that. Okay.
yeah, so I think that that
Yeah, that's a
there was
difficult.
some talk about Top Gun Maverick and why she was not included in that
I
as
see.
that being part of the reason potentially. So because
That
you
sucks.
should have put Kelly McGillis in Top Gun Maverick.
Yeah, you really should have. She was
I
such
got
an
a bone
important
there.
part.
I
Yeah.
know. Yeah. So she actually, for the preparation of her role, lived with the Amish community. And she actually lived with an Amish widow because she plays one in the movie and her seven children for a while before filming began to get because they're German
Hmm.
Amish. There's like Dutch, there's German. I don't know. Do you guys have Amish people in the UK
No, well, I'm certainly not locally
at
for
the
me, but
level?
that's a good
Yeah. Okay.
question. I suspect not because I think it was like a it was part of like colonialism and stuff like that, and immigrant and like
Gotcha.
whenever like all the immigration was happening from Europe is whenever Amish, and so I don't I think they would have been specifically going to escape
Gotcha.
repression or whatever was happening
Yeah.
to their
Yeah.
culture in Europe. So I don't think they would have moved to another part of Europe.
Gotcha. Yeah, and it's just the culture itself. It's just so interesting, Andy. I don't know why I'm obsessed with the
Uh-huh.
Amish people, but I am. And I was showing the kids, I'm like, look at all these hot pads we have that we bought from the Amish, and they make really good fudge
Hmm.
that I always buy at the store on the way to Astoria. And like, it's just mm, the way the movie portrays it. It's not a simple way of life, right? You got to get
Yeah,
like
it's
there's
a
a
lot of
scene
work.
where Ford has to get up at 4:30 in the morning to
Yeah.
milk the cows,
And
and the
even
kids were
after
like, "Go ahead."
I was going to say, even after that scene, they're getting like eggs, they're getting sausage, they're getting whatever. And I'm like, all that stuff had to be made from scratch by these people in
Exactly.
this community. Like,
Exactly.
you know.
They're like the original trad wives.
Yes.
Anyways, so yeah, so the kids are like, "Why do they need to go milk the cows at dark?" And I was like, "Well, how do they make breakfast without, like,
Yeah.
so there's a
Great.
scene where John Book is like, "Aren't you hungry?" Like he's milked the cows and he's trying to, stuff down this giant breakfast and not knowing what lies ahead because they're going to build a barn that day
Yeah.
or something, right? But they're like, "Aren't you hungry?" And he's like, "I'm not used to eating before dawn."
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but
Uh,
they work really hard and they burn
yeah.
the calories and yeah, all of that stuff is. Although there was also a scene, don't
Uh-huh.
know if you caught it.
What?
She's like, "I need my gun and my bullets." And she's like, "Oh, I put that behind the canned food." And it's like Campbell's.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
Yeah. So I guess they do eat a lot of like,
Well, well, well.
yeah, well, you can can your
Well,
peaches.
you hypocrites. Making some Campbell's soup.
I'm sure it's like there are rules and
Uh-huh.
also, gray areas. And I haven't even gone into Rumspringa, so
No. Oh yeah, of course. I forgot about that as a concept. That is
Mhm.
I wasn't sure what community that was connected to, but that is an Amish thing, is it? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So Rumspringa, I believe it occurs around like 18, the age of 18, where they want to make sure you're committed to being Amish, and so they
Hmm.
allow you to go out in the world and try it on for size and see if being Amish is really meant for you, or if, being out in the real world's meant for you.
I mean, credit where credit's due. A lot of other like, communities could do with something like that, to be honest with you. Or like, that feels like a level of not criticism, but like, understanding that maybe this isn't for everyone, which is
It's interesting though, Andy,
hmm
because there was a show on in the 90s where it was like, it was the 90s, and I think it was called Rumspringa
uh-huh.
in the US, and it was they were trying to go for like real world.
Oh yeah.
And it was like I watched the whole thing because I'm obsessed with the Amish culture.
Hmm.
But they paired, I think it was like these four Amish kids with like four American kids. And the American kids had seen every reality show at that point, and they knew, the formula is you get drunk and you scream at each other. And the Amish kids were just like, what is even happening?
Yeah.
Like some of them were trying to understand, others were just like, I'm out of here. It was very, it got a lot of criticism, obviously, at the time. And I don't think you can find it anymore. But
Interesting.
um, the Amish folks don't get a high school education. They don't get like, their GED. So you get out in the world when you're 18, you can't get a job.
Of course.
So a lot of them end up selling drugs,
Oh,
becoming,
jeez.
yeah, drug addicts because that's the way, the way that they can make an income, unfortunately. So they don't get they let them go, but they don't set them up for
Yeah,
success
fair. I understand. Okay.
outside of that.
That's
So I think
okay.
it's like, yeah.
I
Not sure
see.
if like how much of this is actually accurate, but that's just what
Okay,
I've
no, that's an interesting, and I hadn't
surmised.
really thought about that kind of angle on it, but that's, yeah, that is interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. Like they don't have a photo for their driver's license. Sorry.
Yeah. That's a
Because
good
they can't
point.
drive. Yeah.
Wild. All right. Well,
Anyways. Yeah.
um, so the other thing was like, so a couple of other kind of stray thoughts I had were that
Hmm.
first of all, early on, you're just Amish people, and I was like, whoa, 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 is that the bad guy from Die Hard? And it's like, it is the bad guy from Die Hard. And looked at him as the guy who, like, whose brother gets
Is it
killed.
Jan Rubes?
Yeah. Oh, you mean
Yeah,
the
I
name of the
think,
actor?
yeah. He
Oh,
played
hold on.
Eli Lapp, right? The one that was
In
like, book, which is another of my favorite scenes.
Yes, 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 yes. And
Yes.
shoots the
Okay.
gun. Yeah, 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 that's him.
Yes.
Yeah. So Alexander Goodenough, who's also a ballet dancer, I found out whenever I looked
Oh,
into him.
wow.
Right? I
Wow.
know, so cool.
Oof.
I also was like always great to see Danny Glover. I wish he was in it more.
Yeah,
Like he's
yeah.
barely in it, and it's just like so nice to see
Mm.
him. Um, Also, I don't. The other two things were a young Vigo Mortensen,
Mortensen? I know.
which is great. Just
I
the
was like,
background.
yeah. Like a lot though.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
He was in
No,
like 80 scenes of
Dave
like
was
just, yeah.
just sitting there smiling. I was like, oh, there he
Yep.
is.
Yep.
And
Yep.
and also my final thought was that I kept thinking the grandfather was Christopher Guest, from just for a wee second. Everybody's like, is it? Am I
Is
wrong?
it?
Is it
Yeah.
actually Christopher
Yeah.
Guest? No, it's not.
Yeah.
It's not.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah.
No, I think that was Jan Roops that
Yeah,
played.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I
Yeah.
think you're right. I
Okay.
think you're right.
Yeah. Wait. Are you talking about the blonde guy
No, I'm talking
that
about
was
Jan
like,
Rubes. I'm talking about Jan
yeah,
Rubes, who I
okay,
thought
okay,
was
okay,
Christopher
okay.
Guest a couple of different times.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Okay. So as realistic, so I thought I was like they must have used Amish people at in the movie. There are none actually in the film because they
No,
don't like to be photographed
that
or
makes sense.
in movies. They were intensely interested in the filming, though, and many Amish people were often out of camera range, politely watching the filming. Like that would have been, yeah, cool. Um, so when shooting the murder in the men's room scene at the beginning, Peter Weir claimed that it was it was the most violent scene in a film he had ever filmed.
Okay.
Even today, he still thinks it was perhaps too violent, but he wanted to invoke outrage at the severity of the violence occurring before the eyes of an innocent Amish boy.
Okay.
And that comes back to, where's my note? So the original screenplay focused mainly on Rachel, the Kelly McGillis character.
Uh-huh.
But then Peter Weir was like, go back and I want to rewrite it to focus on John Book and compare the pacifism of the Amish against the violence
Mm.
of as seen through the eyes of John Book, which I thought was interesting.
Yeah.
So when he's like, there's a point because they keep having to take Harrison Ford to like call his partner from the payphone because they don't have phones. Um, and he can't call them from like any other number that could be traced. And I think he finds out that his partner's been murdered, and
Mm-hmm.
then there are tourists that are like fucking with him, and like they're like, putting ice cream on their faces and they're just being like general like, 80s bums.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um and Harrison Ford, you can tell he's just like, I'm gonna go fuck him up. And they're like, no, no, it's not our culture. And he's like, but it's mine. And I was like, yeah. And then he like fucks him up.
Get him! Get him, book!
Get him
Uh,
back.
yeah, that rocked. I was
Yeah,
very happy to see that. I was sure those guys made me very angry. Yeah,
I know.
I'm glad he basically broke one of their noses, and I was
Yeah, he
glad about
did.
it.
And it was like fake blood. And I was like, that's too like it's too red. It doesn't look real.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's okay. Uh,
Uh,
makeup crew.
um, do you have any other thoughts or things before we maybe start
Where are we at it now? Yeah,
wrapping
just I
this
do.
up?
Let me rapid fire you some facts.
Sure.
So, this was Harrison Ford's first and only Academy Award nomination for Best Actor.
Hmm.
I know.
I
I'm
mean,
upset.
like I love him, but he doesn't feel like he doesn't make like Oscar Beatty sort of films. He really doesn't. He never really seems to have. He just
I
kind of
feel
seems.
like original, like Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark, he should have won an Oscar for that.
Hmm. That's interesting.
hmm I'll
Okay.
stand on that. I'll stand. I mean, yeah. So, although the film was made with advice from experts of the Amish community, um, some members of the community were critical, feeling the portrayal was not entirely accurate. The National Committee for Amish Religious Freedom called for a boycott of the film,
Ooh.
citing fears that these communities were overrun by tourists because of its popularity, which I agree with.
Hmm.
They worried that the crowding, souvenir hunting, photography, and trespassing on the Amish properties would increase as a result. And when filming was finished, then Pennsylvania Governor Dick Thornburg,
Hmm.
I remember him, I don't, promised not to promote the Amish home communities as future film sites. So
Okay.
thank you for him.
Interesting.
Um, I will say that the song for the serenade scene, Wonderful World by Sam Cooke,
Hmm.
was selected by Harrison Ford himself. Peter Weir said that since Ford had to sing and dance to it, he should be able to choose which song he wanted to use for
Fair.
that scene, which I love those little factoids.
Hmm.
This was Viggo Mortensen's feature film debut.
Okay.
He was offered the part of the film on the same day he was offered to play Henry V in Shakespeare in the Park in New York City.
Mhm.
I think he probably made the better choice because
Yeah.
I was like, Vigo! Like
Yeah.
when you see it, you're like, there he is again, there he is
Yeah.
again. And it's like little Amish hair. Um, Harrison Ford spent time in the Philly Police Department in
Hmm.
preparation for the movie. He even joined them on numerous raids. So can you imagine, like, you're a bad guy and you're being raided, and then you're like, that's Harrison Ford.
Whoa. Is that Han Solo?
I know, Han Solo just arrested me.
Whoa.
So, very happy about that.
Uh-huh.
Da, 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 da. Kelly McGillis was working in a Greenwich Village coffee house when she got the part. Harrison Ford and Peter Weir went there to see her at her work and were like, quit your job. You're coming to, yeah.
Oh
So
wow.
you're
Okay,
coming to
incredible.
Philadelphia. Um, the actual barn, this was a really nice scene. The barn racing scene is like one of my favorite
It's
scenes.
very nice,
Also,
I've got to say,
yeah,
yeah.
it is. It is. And it's, I'm sure it took more than a day to film. But anyways, so the actual barn is built as a result of the scene, but then it was torn down shortly afterwards. So I guess they didn't need it there.
Classic.
And nah, 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 nah. Um, some of these are okay. In the scene where sits down in the early morning breakfast with the Laps and he quips, "Honey, that's great coffee," shocking Rachel by seeming to refer to her as Honey. He then explained that it was a joke with a line from some commercial. The basis for this line appears to be from a quote of Harrison Ford's. When Ford was the early day, commenting on the early days of his career, he said, "I started by chasing a Folgers commercial, but I just somehow couldn't manage to say, honey, that's a great cup of coffee."
Wow. I,
So he put it in the movie.
it was such a wild choice to me because he was like he clearly is aware of what the Amish community are, and there's
Yeah,
and it's just like such a wild swing, and I'm like, you know that they don't
yeah.
have TVs, do you?
Right, right,
But
right. So yeah, it didn't have anything to do with the
it
movie.
was
It
just
just
Harrison Ford thought this will be a laugh.
yeah, this will help that come full circle. I'm trying to see.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. I mean, there's a brief scene with Robert Earl Jones, who's James
Okay.
Earl Jones' son.
Interesting.
And yeah, that's the Star Wars connection, sort of by proxy.
Huzzah.
Peter Weir didn't know anything about the Amish when he signed on to direct the film. He said making the movie was learning as you go. So I think he did a good job of being respectful for the time and uh, yeah,
I think so. I think
yeah,
so.
yeah.
Um, okay, shall we get into our last few wee sections here? Oh my
Hmm.
God, I just blinded myself. Right. So first of all,
Are you
to say the
blinded?
fit, it was a
You're like
tough one.
it's too bright.
Too bright. This massive monitor. Anyway, it's so this was a tough one for me because um I feel like it's mostly Amish gear, and I'm just like I don't know if that's deserving of a reward. So it has to go to one of the police officers who comes after Book near the end. It's called Fergie. Has a really fetching pink sports coat. So Fergie's gonna.
Is Fergie the one that dies in the corn
Yeah,
still?
yeah, yeah, yeah. He gets covered
Okay,
in corn. He
yeah,
gets crushed to death
yeah.
by corn. But also really, Sam, I was sort of like going thinking about what a sports coat is and like why it's called a sports coat. But that's something for another episode. Um, here's what like and again in controversial positions for the Andy's Animal Acting Award for excellence in animal acting. What I've written down here is lots of animals, but none that impressed me. So.
Not even the kittens.
All right, okay, you're right. I go to the
Where
kittens.
he's like,
That's
you
I
flip them
forgot about the
over
kid.
on their
Yeah,
backs, and the kids are like, you can really do that. I'm like, I don't know.
the
I don't
the
know.
kittens didn't seem to love it, to be honest with you.
No,
But
they didn't. Yeah.
which is pretty accurate cat acting. So yeah, you're right. Okay, we'll give it to the kittens. Um, begrudgingly, begrudgingly give it to the kittens. Um, so Beth, in that case, in terms of witness, would
Mm.
you revisit, remember, refuse, or redo?
I was like super excited to revisit, and I'm
Uh,
glad I did. I'm glad I did. But
I think.
I did grow up with it,
Yes, I
so
think for me, I find it just a little bit slow and it didn't engage me as much as I'd like. I still, don't get me wrong, found it to be an enjoyable watch for the most part, but like I think for me it's more of a remember, if you've seen it in the past, I don't think it's one that you necessarily have to track down again, but obviously Beth enjoyed it more than me, so mileage may vary.
yeah. I it's just so interesting to me that I can live somewhere where, the next town over can be a completely different country.
Yeah.
And that's fascinating. And they
I
hold on to their ideals so tightly. And I respect that
I
because
think,
it's scary out there.
it is. And I think, from something that like, fairly respectfully, again, just in terms of my knowledge, kind of deals with or like shows you about this community, it's pretty interesting in that
Yeah.
regard. It
Yeah.
really is.
Yeah.
So it's like as this like snapshot into that world, I really kind of enjoyed that part of it.
Yeah. From an anthropological
Hmm.
standpoint, like I enjoyed it. And, good versus evil and all that
Yeah.
kind of stuff.
And also,
Pacifist versus violence,
and also,
pacifism.
yes, exactly. And also Harrison Ford pops his shirt a couple of times. So,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
so,
Yeah.
right.
Andy wears the short pants.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Woo! Okay. All right. So Beth, for the end of our episode, what has been bringing you joy this
Mm,
week, or I suppose longer than that?
yeah, I'm just like I'm feeling good. I'm doing good. I feel like I'm making progress in my like personal life with like mental
Hell yeah.
health stuff. Um, I actually got to go on a like real scuba dive, not
Hmm.
just like, shore dive down to like 40 feet or whatever. So boat dive. down the line, I don't know, like maybe 60 feet. And like there's two giant lemon sharks that were probably like, I don't know, like probably 16, 18 feet.
Oh wow.
And like, but also I like was going, I don't know if you know what a Titan triggerfish is.
Yes,
You
I
can
do.
Google them. Okay, so there was like one that was like 2 feet long and
And
he was at the bottom of the line. They'll bite. They
they'll
will fucking bite you. They're more
the
dangerous than yeah, than
then
a
the
lemon
lemon
shark.
shark. Yeah, yeah,
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So I was like, oh shit, like there's a Titan trigger. And I'm like, and our dive instructor was like, if you see one, like turn on your back and swim away so you don't like look big. But
Yeah.
I was like coming down
Oh, jeez. Okay.
and I
Yeah.
was like then trying to turn and then I was like then they were like then I was like, oh, he's swimming away from the giant fucking lemon shark that's also swimming at
Yeah.
me. And then there was another one that was behind me and it was just like dropping into like, not a
Le
frenzy, but
lemon
a
sharks
little
are relatively chill,
they're
aren't they?
pretty docile,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
But they just look like big and they're big.
Big,
They're
scary.
big.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah. But in terms of like who's gonna bite you, it's not gonna be them.
yeah,
But
yeah,
yeah, there was like definitely there was the somebody else that we were like coming back on the lineup and one of the sharks was like following us up,
yeah,
which he's curious and I'm sure that the chumming happens, in the dusky hours or the dawn hours so that there's something to see when they take divers out, which
yeah.
whatever. But he was like terrified. And I was like, look, it's the shark. He's
Yeah.
coming up with us, right? And he was like, kept looking at me and I could tell he was like, not
Yeah, let's
okay.
keep going. Let's keep going. Yeah.
But Mike was like, I was ready. If he was gonna, try and break for it, like I was ready to like calm him down and
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
fair.
So it was good. Sharks made me joy, brought me joy.
Love it. So I have, so my movie thing. I think I talked to you before Christmas about one of my projects for the Christmas period was to watch the Before trilogy.
Yes.
So I have seen two of them now. I fucking love them. Like they're just
Really?
so good. Like just exactly my shit. There's just like slice of life stuff. It's just like these two people hanging out. Like it's really went in an interesting direction and one I haven't expected. I've still to watch. I'm gonna watch the final one this weekend. But just filled with like beautiful moments of like we were talking earlier with Witness about these kind of quiet moments when it's just all
Hmm.
about looks and kind of like gestures and body language. And there's so much great stuff with that. There's one bit in it where like Ethan Hawke's character is like talking about this is in the second film how much he has missed
Hmm.
her and thought about her. And like
Hmm.
as he's looking away and he's on this rant, she kind of reaches out to touch him and then just pulls her hand back, and it just made
Hmm.
me weep because it was really beautiful.
Oh.
But I thought that it was like, yeah, I think they're wonderful and they're just kind of I have loved nearly everything else I've seen of Richard Linklater's. I kind of knew I would love these because they were like
Hmm.
one of his best regarded pieces of work, and yeah, adore the first two, and I'm really excited to watch the third because I'm trying to get a wee bit of space between them, So
I have
keep
never watched them
they're so good.
because I'm afraid I'll feel feelings.
Shit, yeah, absolutely. You will. I think
Which
it's
I'm okay with.
it's such like a beautiful like, distillation. Certainly the first one in particular of like that. Those sparks of like meeting somebody for the first time and getting to know them, and both like because it's so intense, them spending this day together, it's like the good and the bad in some ways. There's like certain things where you can see they're kind of like, I'm not sure about this, and
Hmm.
it's just it's really really good, really really good. So yeah, so that's been bringing me a lot of joy over the past wee while.
So like in the sorry,
Uh-huh.
I can find this out myself, but I'm just gonna ask you now, like the second one, do they like are they like in a loving relationship or is it like
No, I
okay,
I don't want to say too much about what how
okay,
because how the first one ends. I
yeah,
think there's a kind of a cliffhanger, and how that resolves. Certainly, whenever it leads to the next film, it's good that you
okay,
don't know that. I think because yeah, and I like how the second one ended was very surprising to me. So I'm really
okay,
interested to see what the third one's going to be. Um, so yeah, but
okay,
really excellent.
good, good, good.
But yeah,
I'm all sharks, and you're like
woo!
the timeless, timeless interaction with
No,
like
they're
the humanity. I'm like
hey.
fishies.
we can find joy in many of the wonderful things that life has to offer.
Yeah.
Um, so
Yeah, 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 yeah.
um,
Oh, okay, yeah.
so two things.
Yes.
First of all, next week's movie, it's the last one in our Harrison Ford series. It is What Lies Beneath, if anybody wants to watch it before next week. Um, and then also, Beth, could you tell everybody where they can find us?
Yes, you can
Question
find
mark?
us at bendypodcast.com. We're getting we're getting a lot of new listeners, so we're excited that you're here.
Uh-huh.
Thank you guys for we're getting inspiration, we're getting feedback, we're getting ideas for structure. So we don't know what we're doing.
Yeah,
Let's make it whatever we want with you.
exactly. We
So yeah,
we'll hopefully have some news in terms of directions we want to take it in and maybe getting you guys involved
yeah,
more as
yes.
well. So just watch this
Yes.
space and we'll have more news
Yes.
on that.
And if you have ideas, concepts, movies you want us to watch,
Yeah.
we are writing all of them down. Feel free to send us. You can email us at support@bendypodcast.com
Mhm.
or reach out on Facebook or Instagram. And I try to get back to everybody within like at least like a week,
It's pretty
once
good.
a week for sure.
It's pretty good.
I have been on vacation and I apologize. So.
Yeah. You're
But I'm
allowed to take a
back in
vacation.
action. Yeah.
And you can be sure as shit I'm not gonna be replying to those
No,
messages.
no. And Andy will run away, so
And I
don't
do the
reach.
back I do the back end stuff, not the front end stuff.
Right, right,
Um
right.
okay.
So just yeah, thank you to everybody
Yes.
for supporting us on this journey. And I will say, like, I get a lot of joy out of this, and I'm having so much fun with it,
Yes.
with you and with everybody that's along the journey with us. So thank you.
Completely agree. All right. In that case, we've reached the end of this week's episode, and as always, we'd like to remind you to stay
Stay
bendy.
Bendy.
That's the flu-free Andy.
I know, I
Oh,
hear it. I hear it.
the lungs are back.
He's back, everybody. All
Right. We
right,
love
we love
you.
you.
Bye.
Bye.